For decades, the Middle East has been home to one of the world's most dangerous geopolitical rivalries. The conflict between Iran and Israel did not begin with recent missile exchanges or airstrikes. Its roots stretch back nearly half a century, shaped by revolution, ideology, regional power struggles, and competing security interests. Before 1979, Iran and Israel maintained unofficial but cooperative relations. Iran was ruled by Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, a close ally of the United States. During this period, Iran and Israel shared economic and security ties despite political tensions across the region. Everything changed with the Iranian Revolution of 1979. The Shah was overthrown, and Iran became an Islamic republic under Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini. The new leadership rejected Israel's legitimacy, ended diplomatic relations, and adopted a foreign policy that strongly opposed both Israel and U.S. influence in the Middle East. From that moment onward, the relationship transformed from uneasy cooperation into open hostility. Throughout the following decades, the rivalry rarely took the form of direct battles between the two countries. Instead, it developed into what analysts often describe as a shadow war. This shadow war included allegations of cyberattacks, intelligence operations, sabotage, targeted assassinations, and proxy conflicts involving armed groups across the region. Both sides accused each other of threatening regional stability while insisting their own actions were defensive. Another major source of tension has been Iran's nuclear program. Iran has consistently stated that its nuclear activities are intended for peaceful civilian purposes, including energy and scientific research. Israel, however, has argued that a nuclear-armed Iran would pose an unacceptable security threat and has repeatedly called for preventing Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon. International negotiations and inspections have attempted to address these concerns, but disagreements have continued for years. As regional tensions grew, conflicts in countries such as Syria, Lebanon, Iraq, and Yemen increasingly became linked to the broader rivalry between Iran and Israel. These crises deepened mistrust and raised fears that a localized conflict could expand into a wider regional confrontation. For years, the confrontation remained largely indirect. But the situation would eventually change. The world began witnessing increasingly direct exchanges of missiles and drones, bringing two longtime adversaries into open military confrontation and raising international concerns about the risk of a broader conflict involving other countries. For years, the conflict remained largely hidden from public view. Intelligence agencies operated in secrecy. Cyberattacks were reported. Military facilities were allegedly targeted. Each incident increased mistrust while both sides sought to avoid a full-scale regional war. Over time, however, the situation became more volatile. Regional conflicts, attacks involving armed groups, and military operations across the Middle East intensified tensions. Each new incident increased the possibility that direct confrontation could replace years of indirect conflict. As the crisis escalated, the United States became increasingly involved. The U.S. has long maintained a close security partnership with Israel while also keeping a significant military presence across the Middle East. American officials have stated that their objectives include protecting U.S. personnel, supporting allies, maintaining freedom of navigation, and preventing further regional escalation. At the same time, Iran has said it is acting to defend its national security and regional interests, while criticizing U.S. military involvement in Israeli operations. And regional interests, while criticizing U.S. military involvement in Israeli operations. The result has been one of the most dangerous periods in the region in recent years. Military actions have included missile launches, drone attacks, air defense interceptions, and strikes on military-related targets. Each exchange has raised concerns that a single miscalculation could trigger a much broader conflict. The consequences extend far beyond the battlefield. Millions of civilians across the region have faced uncertainty, displacement, and fear. Airlines have altered flight routes, shipping companies have reassessed risks, and global energy markets have reacted to concerns over disruptions in the Middle East. One location has received particular international attention: the Strait of Hormuz. A significant share of the world's oil shipments passes through this narrow waterway. Any disruption there has the potential to affect fuel prices, trade, and economies around the globe, making the conflict an issue that reaches far beyond the Middle East. Meanwhile, diplomats from multiple countries have continued efforts to reduce tensions and prevent further escalation. International organizations have repeatedly called for restraint, dialogue, and the protection of civilians. Despite these efforts, the situation remains highly uncertain. Whether the coming months bring diplomacy or further military escalation will depend on decisions made by leaders on all sides, as well as the ability of the international community to prevent the conflict from expanding. One thing is certain: the Iran-Israel-US confrontation is not just a regional story, it is a global one, with consequences that could shape international politics, security, and economic stability for years to come.